Selected papers on anthropology, travel, and exploration by Richard Burton. Narrated by Russell Stamets. Introduction. Since the publication of my annotated bibliography of Sir Richard Burton, I have received, among other correspondence, numerous requests to issue a collection of the rarer and more inaccessible of Burton's articles, which from time to time he contributed to the journals of learned societies, monthlies or weeklies. Finding from my own personal experience how troublesome it is to hunt through piles of dusty old volumes, I've decided to make a small selection of these papers, which I consider are not only rare and interesting, but which also give an insight into the varied activities and achievements of Burton's crowded life. Even if local libraries fail to yield an old volume of some magazine long since withdrawn from circulation, one is almost certain of finding it at the British Museum. But then the British Museum is accessible only to a comparative few, and even those few will find that back numbers of journals, etc., are stored away in a distant building, and several days' notice has to be given before a required volume can be procured. Finally, some of the Burton pamphlets are so rare that the chance of finding them is little less than an impossibility. It will, I think, be realized that such a volume as this will not be superfluous, for, apart from saving people an enormous amount of trouble, it will give them further insight into the life work of one of the greatest men of the Victorian era. In selecting the papers to be reprinted, my choice has been guided by several considerations. In the first place, if the collection is going to be representative of Burton, it must be wide in its scope. It must deal not only with the better-known sides of his life, travel and anthropology, but also with the multifarious interests which he acquired in whatever part of the world he happened to find himself. Further, the most interesting papers are surely those issued during that part of Burton's life when he was at the height of his career as an explorer, and before his activities had been restricted by an unsympathetic and unenlightened government. What then was the most important part of his career? I can answer in 4 words: Sind, Mecca, Harar, Tanganyika. The rest of his activities were entirely dependent on the location of his consulships, and any literary contributions were the natural outcome of his inordinate desire either to chronicle.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?